Hi, friends. Welcome back to Living Inspired with Autism. I'm Antoinette. I'm an autism mom, a life coach, and your companion in finding more peace and joy on this journey. If you've ever felt like you're buckled into a roller coaster that just never stops, 1 minute you're soaring with hope, the next you're plunging into worry or exhaustion, you're not alone. Today's episode is all about emotional relief, not just temporary escapes, but real, lasting calm that you can create for yourself even while parenting your kiddo with autism. And yes, we're going to make this light and fun because relief doesn't have to be heavy work. It's something that you can choose one thought at a time. Okay, let's start here. Parenting an autistic child can feel like a non-stop emotional loop. You wake up to meltdowns, you navigate appointments, you handle school calls, you manage transitions, and you do all the invisible work that no one else even sees. So some days it's going to feel like you're strapped into a ride that you didn't even sign up for. No seatbelt and way too many loops. And I do not like roller coasters. This morning, for example, Max started a new school and he was supposed to get a ride with the school bus, which was not only 20 minutes late, but they refused to take him on the bus because they didn't have a harness for him, which, by the way, they are supposed to provide. And whose fault was this? Anyway, so naturally, I had to drop everything and drive him 40 minutes to his new school and 40 minutes home. See? Real life of autism. Okay, so relief feels so elusive because your brain is like a DJ on repeat. It's playing the same stressful tracks over and over. Your emotions, they're just dancing to whatever tune your thoughts are spinning. When your mental playlist is like stuck on everything is hard or I can't keep up, your feelings have no choice but to match that energy. But this is what changes everything. Relief doesn't come from changing your kiddo or fixing their autism or waiting for life to get easier. It comes from changing that track, literally changing your thoughts about what is happening in your world. And I know what you might be thinking right now. Antoinette, you just don't understand. My situation really is hard. And you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm not asking you to pretend it's not challenging. I'm offering you something much more powerful than pretending. I'm showing you how to feel better while going through all these challenges. Right now, wherever you are listening to this, I want you just to pause with me for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what's the thought that's weighing me down the most right now? Maybe it's, this is too hard, or I am failing my child, or this will never get easier, or everyone else makes us look so simple. Just notice what comes up. And now notice how that thought feels in your body. Heavy, right? Maybe it's tight in your chest or your shoulders. Now that's your body's responding to the story that your mind is telling. Now that we understand why relief feels so hard to find, let's talk about the tools that you create it anywhere and at any time. So I'm going to give you 3 simple techniques that work whether you're in the middle of a meltdown or just freaking out or lying awake at 3 a.m. worrying. The first tool is what I call the pause button. Pause button. Imagine you have a remote control for your life and it has this magical pause button. The moment your emotions spike, when you feel that familiar surge of panic or frustration or overwhelm, you press pause. It's literally as simple as taking 3 deep grounding breaths before you react to anything. This isn't about stopping your feelings or pretending they don't matter. It's just about creating just enough space between what's happening and your response so that you can choose what comes next instead of just reacting from that emotional spike. So let's take an example. Your kiddo is having a meltdown in a grocery store. And the old you might immediately have spiraled into thoughts like, oh, everyone is staring and I'm such a terrible parent and what do? I don't know what to do. But with your pause button, you take those 3 deep breaths and you just create the space to think. Something like, my child is struggling right now and I can help them through this. Same situation, completely different emotional experience. The second tool is the thought swap game. And this one is actually fun once you actually get the hang of it. Think of your thoughts like clothes in your closet. Some of them make you feel confident and comfortable. Others just make you feel terrible. So you wouldn't keep wearing an outfit that makes you feel awful or that's uncomfortable. So why keep thinking thoughts that do the same thing? The thought swap game is very simple. So you find a thought that's making your current moment feel heavier than it needs to be, then swap it for one that feels even just 10% lighter. So an example that works magic for my parents that I coach. Instead of, I can't handle this, try, I can handle this moment right now. Instead of, everything's going wrong, try, this is just one moment in a much bigger story. Instead of, my child will never be okay, try, my child is learning and growing in their own way. Notice I'm not asking you to jump from despair to pure joy. We're just looking for thoughts that feel a little better, just a little bit lighter. The third tool I have is joy spotting, and this might be my favorite because it turns your entire day into a treasure hunt. Now, most of us have been trained to scan for problems and dangers and what's going wrong and what could go wrong. Joy spotting flips that script. So you're actively looking for micro moments of joy throughout your day. Your child's unexpected giggle during a tough moment, or that beautiful smile, the warmth of your coffee mug in your hands, the way the sunlight hits the wall just right, the feeling of just finally sitting down after a long day. The beautiful thing about joy spotting is relief builds when you start collecting these small joys like little precious treasures. Your brain begins to notice that even in the challenging days, good moments exist. You're literally rewiring your attention to see more of what's working instead of only what's broken. Before we move on, I want you to choose one of these 3 tools right now. Maybe it's the pause button if you tend to react quickly to stress. Maybe it's thought swapping if you notice your mind spiraling into worst case scenarios. Or maybe it's the joy spotting if you feel like you're missing the good moments because you're always focused on fixing problems. Choose one and commit to trying it today. Notice how even these tiny shifts can change the entire tone of your day. And listen, these tools may seem like super simple, and you may be thinking that it should be more complicated, but it's not. Go back to the basics, go simple, and you'll be amazed by the outcome. Okay, so I know a lot of you are wrestling with this right now. You want relief, but you feel guilty about wanting it because somewhere along the way, many of us picked up this belief that constant exhaustion equals love. That if we're not suffering, we're not caring enough about our kiddos. And I am here to lovingly call that belief out as complete and utter bull. It's nonsense. Running on empty and calling it love is like trying to drive your car on fumes and then wondering why it keeps stalling or cutting out. You wouldn't do that to your car, so why are you doing it to yourself? Relief isn't an indulgence, it's maintenance. Think about it this way. You are the emotional Wi-Fi for your home. When your signal is strong and steady, everyone in your family connects better. When your signal is weak and constantly buffering, everyone struggles to connect. Your emotional state ripples out to everyone around you, especially your kiddos. And autistic kiddos are incredibly intuitive. We all know that. They pick up on your energy, they pick up on your stress, your emotional state, often even before you're aware of it yourself. When you're running on chronic stress and exhaustion, they feel it. When you choose relief and find ways to feel calmer and more centered, they feel that too. What choosing relief actually looks like in real life? It means that you respond to challenges from a place of calm strength instead of reacting and panicking. It means that you've got a lot more patience for those tough moments because you're not already running on empty. It means you can be fully present for those beautiful moments because you're not mentally rehearsing tomorrow's worries today or replaying yesterday's struggles. Choosing relief means you're offering your family the best version of you. Not the perfect version, not the version that never struggles, but the version that knows how to take care of herself or himself so that he or she can show up fully for the people that they love. That's not selfish. That's responsible. That's love in action. And then relief isn't about staying happy all the time or never having difficult emotions. Because, let's face it, it's not realistic, and honestly, it's not even healthy. Emotions are information, and sometimes that information is telling us something important. Relief is actually about recovering faster when life throws you off balance. So think of your emotional resilience like a trampoline. Life is going to throw you down sometimes. That's just part of being a human, and especially part of parenting a kiddo with unique needs. But with the right mindset and tools, you bounce back instead of splatting on the ground and just staying there. So let me give you 3 specific practices that build what I call your bounce back muscles. The first is micro recoveries. These are tiny breaks throughout your day that reset your nervous system, because we really need to work on our nervous systems. It might be taking 5 deep breaths in your car before walking into the house. It might be stepping outside for 2 minutes to feel the fresh air on your face. It might be closing your eyes and thinking of one thing that you're really grateful for while your coffee brews. These aren't big, time-consuming self-care rituals. These are small moments of intentional calm that you could sprinkle throughout your day. The second practice I have is clean thinking. Throughout your day, get curious about your thoughts, and ask yourself the simple question: is this thought helping me or hurting me right now? If it's helping, you solve the problem. Absolutely. Process an emotion or move forward in any way. Keep thinking it. If it's just creating unnecessary suffering without any productive purpose, that's what I call dirty thinking. And you could choose to redirect your mind to something a little bit more helpful. The third practice is what I call the celebration habit. Now, before you go to sleep each night, identify one thing that went right that day, no matter how small. Perhaps your kiddo tried a new food. Maybe you handled a tough situation with more patience than usual. Maybe you remembered to take those 3 deep breaths when you felt triggered. Maybe you simply made it through a challenging day. This practice trains your brain to look for evidence of your wins instead of just cataloging all your struggles. So these three practices work together to build your emotional resilience. You're not trying to avoid difficult emotions or pretend that everything's perfect. You're just building the skills to move through challenges with a lot more grace and recover much more quickly when things feel hard. Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to leave you with the single most powerful thought shift that has changed everything for me and for the parents I coach. Are you ready? Here it is. This is not forever. I can handle this. So let me break that down for you, because these 8 words contain so much power. This is not forever reminds you that whatever challenging phase you're in right now, it will evolve and change. Your kiddo will grow and develop new skills. You will learn and adapt and become more skilled at navigating what they need. The meltdowns that feel overwhelming today will become more manageable as both of you learn better strategies. The behaviors that feel impossible right now will shift as your child's brain continues to develop. Now, the next few words, I can handle this, is a statement of truth about your resilience. You've already handled so much. Think about everything that you've done since your child's diagnosis. Think about all the challenges that you've worked through, all the solutions that you found, all the growth that you've experienced. You have a track record of handling difficult things, and you can handle this too. So imagine you're carrying a heavy bag of groceries and you've been told that you need to carry it for 10 miles. Now, you may think, oh my goodness, that just feels impossible, right? Overwhelming, exhausting. But coaching teaches you something different. It teaches you that you can set that bag down whenever you need to rest. You can ask for help carrying it. You can reorganize what's in the bag to make it more manageable. You don't have to drag that heavy load for 10 straight miles. Your challenges with parenting an autistic child are the same way. You don't have to carry all the worry and all the stress and all the overwhelming thoughts for years and years without relief. You can set them down. You can recognize them. You can ask for help. You can choose thoughts that make the journey feel more manageable. You can even take things out the bag to make it lighter. Right now, I want you to think about one thought that you've been carrying that feels particularly heavy. Maybe it's a worry about your child's future, or guilt about something you think you should be doing differently, or a fear about whether you're good enough on this journey, whether you're equipped for this journey. Now I want you to imagine setting that thought down just for today. What would you be thinking instead? What thought would feel even 5% lighter? This is how relief is built, not through massive dramatic changes, but through small intentional thought shifts that stack on top of each other over time. You're not changing your circumstances, you're changing your relationship to your circumstances. And that, my friends, changes everything. Okay, I have said a lot, so let's recap what we've covered today, because I want you to walk away from this episode with tools that you can use immediately. Relief is absolutely possible for you right now, today, in whatever circumstances you're facing. We talked about the pause button for those moments where your emotions spike. We explored thought swapping to help you choose thoughts that feel lighter and that are more helpful. We discovered joy spotting as a way to train your brain to notice the good moments that exist even in challenging days. And then we practice building your bounce back muscles through micro recoveries, clean thinking, and celebrating your daily wins. And we explored the thought shift that changes everything. This is not forever. I can handle this. This is not forever. I can handle this. You don't have to wait for your life to get easier to feel better. You don't have to wait for your kiddo's autism to be fixed or changed to experience joy and peace. Emotional relief is something you create moment by moment, thought by thought, breath by breath. If what we've talked about today resonates with you and you're ready for more relief and joy in your autism journey, I would love to talk to you. So please book a consultation with me and let's explore what's possible for you and your family. Sometimes we need more than a podcast episode. Sometimes we need someone to walk alongside us and just to help us see the possibilities that we can't see on our own. But whether you decide to work with me or not, I want you to know this. You are not meant to ride the emotional roller coaster forever. You get to choose when to step off. You get to choose thoughts that feel better. You get to choose relief. Okay, my friends, until next time, keep looking for joy. It's closer than you think, and you deserve to find it.